Hello, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to the problem statement explainer session of NLDS Hackathon 2.0. To set up the agenda, we will first talk about the overview of the hackathon, the timeline, rewards, and benefits. Then we will discuss about the problem statements in details, as well as an overview of the challenges that exist in the logistics sector. We have speakers joined us from organizations who will brief us on this. Then we will take you Hi everyone, I hope you are able to see me, hear me. Just allow me to share my screen again. Hi everyone, sorry for the inconvenience. There's some technical issues occurring, but we'll continue from here. I'll just present my screen in a while. But just to begin with, and thank you so much for joining us and holding back for a while here. I would like to welcome all of you to the problem statement explainer session of NLDS ULIP Logixtics Hackathon 2.0. And to set up the agenda for today, we are going to discuss the overview of the hackathon, the rewards. We're going to throw lights on the benefits and the rewards. We're also going to talk about the problem statements in detail, and as well as an overview of the challenges. Like, we have defined speakers coming and joining us today on this panel, and to help us understand more about the problem statements and in depth about how we can, use APIs from ULIP and the platform. And we also have our guest speaker from the industry who will throw more lights upon the challenges and actually what we can solve from the industry logistics. So I'll quickly get my screen sharing done, and we can take it over from there. So I'll give a quick brief. I'll just share my screen once. Allow me to do that. I hope I'm audible to everyone. People in the chat, I can see a lot of messages already coming in. People have a lot of questions. So just doing that right away with you guys. Just allow me to share my screen. I hope that is visible to all of you, and let's just quickly move forward. Okay, now let's quickly discuss about after the success of of the first edition of ULIP Logistics Hackathon. The NLDS is back with another edition, and you see and you've been participating in the same. If you haven't already, please do. And hackathon. So this hackathon is a collaboration with Niti Aayog, Atal Innovation Mission, and Startup India. So the main objective of this hackathon is to invite innovators like you across India to address the present challenges faced by the logistics sector, fostering innovation and creativity. And this hackathon is very inclusive, open to everyone, whether you are a student or a professional or a startup or maybe a freelancer as well, who's driving into innovation. You can participate and develop groundbreaking solutions that can truly innovate the logistics sector of India. Okay, to take this forward from here, but now moving forward to the timeline piece of it, I hope the screen is visible to all of you. So currently we are in the registration and the ID submission phase. So in this phase, you have three action items to perform. Number one is register yourself. Second is form a team, and you can form a team up to 4 members and then submit your ideas before 25th of October. So I hope you're pretty aligned to the timeline. You can see that on my screen as well. It is well briefed. You can also check out the same timeline on the website as well. So while submitting your ideas, make sure that you mention how you are planning to integrate ULIP's APIs in your prototype. Right? Initially, we understand this is an idea submission stage, but while you're drafting that idea, you can also give us a brief about how do you plan to actually use those APIs. Right. So we'll discuss more further in depth about those APIs coming forward in the session itself. Okay, let's throw some lights on what are the rewards and benefits right here. Apart from this, you will receive mentorship from industry experts to improve your product. Right. You have a whole lot of pool of 20 lakh rupees as cash prize, and there are other benefits for the forthcoming teams itself as well. So you can do that as well. So participate, do check that out. Do check out the website for it. And what we'll do is we'll quickly now for the problem statement explainer statements in details, I would like to invite Rohan, and he's the product manager at Hack to Skill. So I'll take that quickly up and running. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just switch myself.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Shakti, for the introduction. And I just firstly would like to say I'm very excited to be part of this logistics revolution, because there's one saying that logistics is the backbone of any good countries, any developing or developed countries' economy. How strong the logistics is directly translates to how prosperous the country is. So I truly believe that through this hackathon, what we can achieve collectively will not only contribute towards coming up with innovative ideas in the short term, but in long term can have some very long lasting and great benefits for our nation as a whole as well. So with that, I just quickly want to, before even jumping into the problem statement, right? Because the first one I see sustainable logistics. So with sustainable logistics, what I would like to tell you about is that ULIP has APIs for carbon credits, right? So with sustainable logistics, all you need to do is you need to come up with basically how we can leverage technology innovation into a more sustainable and environment friendly way. So ULIP provides APIs not only for carbon credits of roadway transports, it also provides APIs for waterways, airways, and railway transportation as well. So leveraging those APIs, right, leveraging anything and everything in between those APIs, you can come up with solutions which are more technically aligned towards towards shipping a product, shipping a project, or shipping a POC or an idea, depending on if you are a student, a professional, or a startup, which can help shape up everything in such a way which has a net reduction. So looking at sustainability, if we start thinking from end to end, right, that our solution will straight away start reducing the carbon credits, that might not be possible. But even there's this saying, right, that every drop counts, and in Hindi they say that boon boon se sagar banta hai. So it's how much little contribution can we make towards creating a sustainable logistics ecosystem, leveraging the APIs that ULIP has, ranging from the carbon credit APIs to the PM Gati Shakti APIs and everything in between. So that is the first and foremost problem statement. Moving on, I'd like to move on to the operational efficiency and optimization API. So there are a wide array of APIs like trade and customs API, transportation APIs. For example, I'll just give you one example. Like you can do real-time tracking of shipments. You can track how food grains are moving using the FCI APIs. You have e-waybill APIs. You have LDB APIs. There are so many APIs available, right? Which, because there exists the value chain that exists within the logistic world, starting to finish, can vary depending on which industry you are working in, what logistics chain you are using. So any logistics industry, any logistics chain that you are planning to use, there probably is an API. There is even API for the X-ray data connected for airfares and air shipment as well. That is the level of detail and the amount of data that ULIP will give you access to. So the possibilities with it are endless. And when we talk about operational efficiency, again, similar to sustainable logics, we don't have, if it's always good to aim big, right? Straight away reducing the operational cost by 50% or the operational time by 50% is definitely a huge bonus. But that is, a very big and pipe dream. You don't, especially people, right? Especially students who are here, right? Because startups, I believe they already have a level of clarity and they are already working towards a motive. But if you still are in the ideation phase, I would not I would say that don't feel discouraged, right? You don't need to, any idea that can contribute towards even increasing the operational efficiency by in such a way that it has an impact when scaled pan India, is again a great idea. Because even if you are saving 1 second or 2 seconds or 3 seconds at one place, collectively across the whole value chain, that will create a huge impact. So I want people who still are not sure about what to do, which API to leverage, what kind of ideas to come up with, or are not sure that they are technically up to it, I would still suggest that, because this is the chance to be part of a revolution, right? And operational efficiency and optimization is as big of a problem from a data analytics perspective as it is from looking at the ULIP APIs. So for all the data enthusiasts, especially if you are into processing a lot of data, ML, AI, all of those kind of things, I most certainly would like to suggest that you leverage those tools along with the ULIP API to increase however much you are able to increase the efficiency and increase the optimization as well. Finally, moving on to unified documentation and digital transformation. So you will see that there's a theme. Each problem statement, sort of goes into another very seamlessly. So in the whole value chain and in the operations, right, across each step, there are a lot of, documents that are required, a lot of which are still, done manually, and a lot of the places manual verifications for them are done. So it ends up also, affecting the overall optimization and efficiency of the value chain as well. So if we can come up, because ULIP has APIs wherein you have access to all the shipping consignments, the bills, all of those things, the e-way bills, even there are APIs through which you can get, for at least motor vehicles, you can get the registration numbers, the DIN numbers, all of those things as well. So kind of what we have done through a combined value chain, right? We can maybe sort of do the same thing. So this operational efficiency leads into a very specific use case of unified document combination. So if you want to be even more specific, you can leverage these APIs to create a DigiLocker of sorts, but for the ULIP industry, right? For not the ULIP industry, what I mean to say, for the logistic industry. So seamlessly, when the people are transporting, does not matter how it is being transported, what the logistics use case for it is, at every barrier point wherein some documentation or some proof is required, a ULIP API can be leveraged, so the verification becomes automatic and seamless. What I mean by that is that if the amount of time being spent at one bottleneck or one place is, let's say, 15 minutes it takes to clear up a queue of however many vehicles or transportation or whatever there is. If we, through our unified documentation platform, if we can even end up reducing it by a minute or two across the value chain, you will see a very, very big difference being created. And that is, it is all about moving from paper to digital by leveraging the data, the extensive amount of data that ULIP APIs already have and access to. And as I told you, right, each problem statement sort of bleeds into the other one, right? It's all related. It's just about what we want to tackle. So the very next problem statement is operational efficiency and optimization. The data-driven optimization of logistics. So we started with operational efficiency, then we moved to unified documentation, which will increase the operational efficiency as well and optimize a lot of things on operational side as well. And next we move on to data-driven optimization of logistics. So again, it is the same theme. The data-driven of optimization of logistics operations will lead to operational efficiency as well. But this is again a more specialized version of the problem statement, wherein what we actually need to do is that we need to be more data focused. So operational efficiency can also be solved by finding some loopholes or certain things which have been amiss. For example, one operational efficiency that was done in roadways transportation was FASTag, right? FASTag. So through FASTag now, the toll clearance rate has increased a lot. It's very fast. So this was not related to any data or anything. It was just a gap was found and an innovative RFID based solution was found for that as well. And the data for which is collated also, right? So operational efficiency is necessarily not solved by identifying, and processing data itself. There can be some gaps that you as an innovator, you as a startup, you as a professional know of or have identified and can solve it leveraging the ULIP API. But data-driven optimization is much more specific, that we identify maybe using, let's say I'm taking one example here, right? It's just an example. Using the PM Gati Shakti API, we see what across the national highways, what are the chokeholds, which highways are, getting more traffic. Let's say, just an example, we observe that the Delhi to Jaipur highway is usually more congested on Saturdays or Sundays, right? If this is the observation, I'm just giving an example. This is not real data, right? I'm just giving an example. So if we find this observation, maybe, we can come up with countermeasure strategies that if Saturday, Sundays, there is certain things which is happening on certain highways, we can, create diversions. We can ask vehicles to, go or use some other path as well. So these are the kind of things which are expected out of, data-driven optimization, like purely database insight. This insight could not have come by just having, good observation skills and identifying good use cases. Data was necessary, and some data or some categorical or historical data was very necessary, to come up with a solution and again, ULIP has a bunch of APIs. The same way you can access real-time data, you can also get access to historical data as well. You can map that data, and using that data you can come up with great data-driven insights. So you can see how everything is interlinked, because at the end of the day, if you are coming with optimizations, if you are unifying documentation and you are optimizing the logistics through data, that is also creating a sustainable logistics environment, because that much things are moving faster, that much less fuel is being used. So everything is working hand in hand. It's just that the logistics industry is so huge that we cannot end to end. One person or one startup cannot be expected to solve everything end to end. That's why everything has been broken up into segments so that you can focus specifically on the problems that you want to face on a very granular level, on a very microscopic level, and then build your solution from there. And finally, we have tech-driven logistics and innovation. So this is the best way for me to put is that this is a blank canvas for you to paint on in logistics industry, right? So with the advent of technologies like generative AI in general, the boom that's been happening in AI, blockchain, and any other thing as well. Like I'm just talking about blockchain and AI, but there are so many technologies that have come up. IoT has made so much improvement. Looking back 15 years, what IoT was, there were so many security issues that propped up in IoT applications. But now even IoT has become more secure and more adopted within our country as well as globally. So if you are able to come up with, if solutions that leverage these modern technologies such as IoT, ML, AI, generative AI, blockchain, along with ULIP APIs to create a framework or create any solution which can, work towards betterment of the logistics backbone of India, then it's more than welcome. So this is where people who are, very, very creative or who don't want to be, bounded by certain KPIs of the other problem statements can let themselves completely loose, and they have all the all of the freedom to exercise anything they want to, as long as they are using the up and coming technologies of the industry, because mobile development application, all of these things are anyhow there in the industry, right? So it's much more about how these trending technologies along with the APIs that we have can be used to create something new, something innovative, which is not there in the market, because the technologies itself are very new, right? Generative AI has there been in the market for hardly 1 or 2 years, popularly adopted, that is, right? Not from a research perspective. Similarly, blockchain, the most popular use case so far for blockchain has been NFTs. So if we can come up, and that was completely in the art world, right? But if we want to come up with a use case for blockchain within the world of logistics, the door is open for all of us. So that is what basically this problem statement wants us to achieve. This problem statements want us to leverage the technologies that are booming in the market, that are new, which have opened up a lot of possibilities in other fields as well, and leverage them to create the next big innovation in the field of logistics. So with this, I would like to come to a conclusion related to the problem statements. But just one more thing I would like to leave you all with is that when you are submitting for these problem statements, right, the first round that we'll be submitting for is called the idea submission round, right? So for the idea submission round, if you sign up to the platform, you'll be having access to the dashboard from where you'll download the PPT, right? So this I'm explicitly stating, to encourage people to participate so they don't feel overwhelmed. So in the PPT, you'll see that a lot of slides, right, for this particular round, that is the idea submission round, are optional, right? For example, if you have a prototype or not, because or if you have a product link, if you have other things like that, those things in that PPT you'll find are optional, and that has been made deliberately optional because this is an idea submission round. All you need to actually focus on is how your idea aligns with the ULIP APIs, how it leverages the ULIP APIs. If you're able to explain that well, then that will be a very, very huge bonus, right? Because you are very clear in your thought what you want to do, what APIs you want to use. If you don't know what APIs you want to use, you can just let in the PPT know that in general, I want to use this particular ministry's APIs, not the specific API if you want to mention. But why I'm telling you this is, the more clarity you have how your idea aligns to solving the problem and how it leverages ULIP, the more better that is. So don't worry about the prototype related things in case you're still in the ideation phase. Obviously, if you're a professional or a startup, already you have done a lot of R&D in this field, then that you are more than welcome to add as much detail and as much precision you want to. But for those who have not done that and are in the process of coming up with an idea of their own, I would just encourage them to align their ideas with solving an actual problem and then identifying how they can leverage ULIP to maximize the impact of their idea, and mention that in the PPT as well, right? And that's pretty much all that I have to share. And I just like to end my sort of a segment by saying I just wish everyone the best of luck, and I'm excited to see how a snowball effect is created out of this hackathon. And 5 years, 10 years down the line, we are seeing the logistics industry be the backbone of India, and just seeing India in a more developed and better state. I'm really really excited, and I wish everyone who's tuning in very best of luck. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Rohan. It was a well-defined, brief, explanation about the problem statements here. So what I'll do is I'll quickly just give me a minute. So we talked about all of these problem statements throughout, and Rohan has briefly explained all of them. But what I'll do is I'll quickly add and request our speaker to join us. I would now like to invite Ishu Bansal, CTO at Truck Suvidha, to give a brief overview of the challenges faced by the logistics sector in India. So can we have Ishu on the screen, please? Hi, Ishu. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi. Thank you. Thank you for introduction. I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you so much. I'll just switch on my screen. Right. Ishu, if you can continue. Thank you so much for joining us first and foremost, and taking out time to actually help us understand the challenges faced in real world. So, over to you. The stage is all yours. The audience is all yours. Would love to hear from you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the warm introduction. So, this is really a great thing like a hackathon, which is being conducted by ULIP platform and the minds behind it. So, like while I came to know about ULIP 2 years back, I was in a scenario that this again a government organization will be running very slow and all, but the way minds behind ULIP, they are very fast. They are developing a lot of new things, incorporating the changes whatever is being suggested by industry like us and other people. So we also utilize a lot of ULIP APIs within Truxoveda, and there are various problems which are already being solved, and there are other APIs which are being developed by ULIP platforms also. So one of the important thing that I believe if someone from the participants or someone can take up, which is one of the major problem within the logistics industry as of now, it's of new frauds which is being happening, digital frauds, which typically happens while not getting the verified or verification of the vehicle itself. I give you a scenario here what is happening these days. So typically like whenever someone is coming onto the platform and getting the truck booked, though so the transporters typically who are giving the genuine rates, it is somewhere around 50,000 or sometimes into lakhs as well, depending on to the freight like distance and the type of truck. So some of the fraudsters which are sitting into the within the industry itself, they come up and quote a very minimal price to the person and ask for the advance. And typically they are very convincing in a way, and sometimes industry immediately transfer the payment without verifying the documents and without verifying the trucks as well. So if there is something that can be done with the help of fraud prevention by identifying like what is happening in terms of scenario, in terms of vehicle, in terms of driver, in terms of other document verification that can be done on real time basis, provided like uh, the person whosoever is providing the documents, it is a legitimate entity and getting the trucks booked or will give the truck at a particular time. So that will solve one of the major problem within the industry. And this is not just happening within the trucking industry or just getting the truck booked. This is also happening within the shipping industry also. And shipments are typically have a very high freight value, high tentative values of the amount which is being transferred. This is one of the important aspect. Apart from that, when we talk about the efficiency of the logistics platform, again, I recently share a scenario with you what is happening these days. A lot of challans happens while a truck is moving, and due to the new norms after the NLP has came, there are various norms that have been changed in terms of the height and width of the truck. So what is happening these days, like whenever there is a officer who is stopping the truck during the night hours and all, they generally don't have very equipment to notice the or to measure the height of the container or the truck, and they typically just have a particular bamboo with them, and they identify the height of the truck with the help of that bamboo, typically, which is sometimes not within the norms also. And these container owners and container transfer are penalized with heavy challans, and due to those challans, sometimes if the passing is there of the vehicle, then again there is a problem that the person is stuck with the vehicle itself. So these are the typical scenario which can be took up on real-time basis to solve the real-time problem. Apart from that, although Vahan, whenever there is a new challan which is happening, it is giving a intimation to the fleet owner, but sometimes the fleet is attached with a transport or a particular truck driver. So in those particular scenarios, the problem is being faced by the person who is running the truck. And whenever the truck is onto the next time onto the road, again they are facing the problem. Coming back to another scenario which is related to the GST. So, as what happens sometimes, like the trucks are stuck due to the no entries or other various reasons on the borders, and as soon as the e-way bill is expired, typically there is a heavy penalty on the transporter, and and sometimes the material as well as the truck can be seized as well. So if we can create some scenario where we can get the intimation or the extension of the e-way bills with the help of timely extension with the help of some intimations or some information flow within the system itself, that will be a win-win situation for the industry itself. One dear friend shared about the FASTag scenario, like how FASTag come into the picture and all. So FASTag is still a very new concept when we talk about a lot of people who are purchasing new vehicles or purchasing the FASTag on tolls. So again, there is a very serious frauds which are going up onto the FASTag. If someone can design something to prevent such frauds, I share some more light onto what kind of frauds are happening. So typically, what the problem is, whenever the person who is there onto the toll plaza and selling the FASTag, sometimes people give fake documents to them and get the FASTag from them and get it into the negative balance. So whenever this scenario is happening, the penalties are either levied onto the company who is selling that FASTag, or it is being levied onto the agent who is standing onto the toll plaza into particular scenario at any weather conditions, and they are not earning that much versus the penalty which is being levied on them. So if there is some solution that can be built around that in order to identify those documents on real-time basis, that will be again a win-win situation for the industry itself. And for all those people who are data lovers and technology lovers, data is something which is really interesting and play an important role. So when we talk about data itself, if you have any thought process of uh, optimizing the routes, or if you have a thought process of optimizing the freight value for the people, which can be done with the help of identifying the similar routes and identifying the toll plazas onto the particular route and saving onto the toll values to the people, which generally drivers who are into the industry for long, they do. But if this can be driven with the technology, I believe optimization can be in a better perspective rather than just relying on some human being or the driver's experience for saving in terms of the tool values or in terms of the diesel things as well. Apart from that, data also plays an important role when we talk about the reduction or discounting in terms of the freight value. So lot of trucks are moving on daily basis a particular, there is no fixed price in terms of the freight value like we can calculate with the help within the passenger car industry, but this is not practically possible into the freight industry for goods typically. So any of the solution which can be done onto those lines, that is again a very good problem statement for you to resolve the thing. And when we talk about in terms of to the tracking of the vehicles, GPS is there, telecom based tracking is there. solutions can be also defined with again the ULIP's API, like FASTag based location tracking is there that can be levied upon. Apart from that, e-waybill extension can also be integrated with the FASTag based API, so that can also be linked up and identified, like how that can be scenario. If the truck is not at the destination or not able to reach at the destination, then suggestions can be given to the vehicle owner or the consigner to extend the FASTag, and the proper communication can be done on top of it. So that is another important aspect. And like earlier was the scenario, if I talk about 5 or 6 years back, then trucking industry was not kind of ready or was not within the situation that they should utilize the applications and all. But these days truck drivers and everyone is quite handy to mobile phones and all, and they can get the things directly onto the mobile phones rather than going out somewhere. One more problem that is very frequent and faced by transporters and truck drivers is like they are driving a very giant vehicle and all. Sometimes they violate rules also. So they are not aware, like if there is any state challan or any other challan at panchayat level or district level has been there, because these challans are not kind of online, but these can be fetched with the help of ULIP APIs. So if there is a system which can be defined or designed, which can identify the challans, communicate it to the user, and then have a solution to pay those challans as well, that will be the immediate solution for the logistics industry also. So these are the typical problems which generally the industry is facing on day-to-day basis. I'm open to other things. If someone wants to discuss any solution or they have something into the mind, I can open to you for question and answers.
For sure. Thank you so much, Ishu, for that quick brief and give us a walkthrough of it. And we definitely, if people are starting to ask a lot of questions in the chat, we'll pick up a few based on the time. But thank you so much for the quick introduction. What we'll do is we'll pick up the questions at the end of the session,
Sure.
and we'll continue from here. If would love you to stick by till the end so that we can have you address few questions from the participants.
Sure, no issues. I'm on the audience. If someone comes up, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you so much. Yes. Okay, we had a great, understanding about the challenges faced in the industry in the logistics sector. But now, to talk more about the ULIP Gateway and the APIs it offers, I would like to invite Mohan Seni, Senior Manager at NLDS, to join us on the stage and walk us through. Hi, Mohan.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, loud and clear. Thank you.
Cool, thanks. So, good afternoon, everyone. Coming back to again the concept of ULIP and NLDS as an organization. So, I'll try to keep it brief onto the introduction of the company. However, detail about on ULIP and its APIs. So, NICDC Logistics Data Services is primarily a joint venture between NICDC Trust, which comes under DPIT Ministry of Commerce and Industries, and NEC Corporation Japan. We have two prime flagship projects which are up and running in the market. One is called Logistics Data Bank, which is one of the container visualization project. Another is ULIP, Unified Logistics Interface Platform, that was launched by Honorable Prime Minister during the launch of National Logistics Policy in September 2022. We recently completed 2 years of operations, and we have evolved from barely half a dozen APIs to 121 APIs today, from few hundred data fields to 2000 data fields today. So with this immense growth across the APIs and data field came something called use case discovery, which our end user had actually been able to articulate, uh, explain to us, and then we try to look forward to the data sources through which we can provide them the additional information. So just to give you an example on one such API, we during one of the workshops with the stakeholder, somebody said there are lots of vehicles which comes to a manufacturing plant to load cargo. Somehow what happens is they don't have any visibility if that vehicle is financed or not financed. because a lot of time what happens during the transit, if the vehicle is financed and they have not repaid the payment on time, there is a high probability the financer will confiscate the vehicle during in transit. And not only the vehicle get like confiscated, the cargo which is there in the vehicle also gets confiscated, which has a cargo value of worth crores when it comes to a transactional value. So in such case, everybody requested if we can get them additional data for data fields around commercial vehicle status when it comes to their auto loan, if any loan is there, if yes, what is the status, when was the last EMI paid. So through that, they can probably plan their loading and unloading. So accordingly, utilizing ULIP APIs, a lot can be done around operations, around sustainability, around documentation, if somebody is planning to have a data driven logistics, or even the tech driven logistics. So ULIP in such a case is primarily a digital gateway. It's a platform, it's a middleware which bridges ministry and the user. As on today, we have 11 ministries which are integrated with us. In totality, there are 38 systems of those 11 ministry, which translates to 121 APIs. And in totality, we have close to 2000 data fields which are there up and running. When it comes to ministries, the few big names, if I may take, right from Ministry of Railways, where we have freight operating information system through which the wagon tracking can be done, freight rate calculation can be done, or some of the use cases which are being highly accepted by the trade for freight calculation. Accordingly, civil aviation, all the air cargo tracking, MORTH, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. There we have four key data field APIs around Vahan, Sarthi, E-Challan and FASTag. So as Mr. Ishu was telling during toll plaza tracking, if somebody wishes to have a FASTag tracking, it can be done. Today in the morning, we received one of the call from a strategic unit of Government of India, wherein they wishes to track their vehicle of the newly procured armored vehicles. So probably all these data can be utilized across the paradigm for a multimodal tracking. Then apart from that, we have MIT, we have Ministry of Finance for e-way data, we have LDB, which is one of the in-house project, we have PM Gati Shakti fields for all the warehouses, food corporation warehouses across India, their vehicle location tracking systems, EV charging. Recently, we have integrated with Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. If somebody wishes to find out which are the fuel stations from a location A to location B, they can get a list of all the fuel stations. It is not only limited to the data of fuel station, however, but is the prevalent fuel rate over there, what are the facilities available in terms of driver restroom, parking facility, restaurant, all those features are available. So in totality, all the 121 APIs, the data of which is available in the resource section. Please look out for the field called resources and data field, and maybe I'll request Hack to Skill team to browse through them so that everybody can view where is that repository stored, uh, so that they can locate the file easily. So through that data field file, you can find out which are the APIs, what is the input parameter of those APIs, what are the output parameter. The output parameter from one API can be the input parameter for other API in case you are trying to utilize dual API methodology and probably build a prototype around it. So over there, I would urge users to browse through those fields, find out which are the ones which are applicable to the 5 problem statements which are mentioned in the PPT, and look forward to it. Just to give a clue, the industry today utilizes all the APIs around Morth, which is your Vahan, Sarthi, Fastag, and Echalan. So these are few of the top hitting APIs along with eWaybill, Logistics Data Bank, SendIn, air cargo tracking, voice for the Ministry of Railways are something which are being utilized on a very extensive manner. Can you go to the next slide, please? So here again, the previous user had actually utilized these APIs to build a circular transportation network, wherein they could probably discover on the empty miles of the truck and probably save on the cost when the truck is coming returning after the delivery for the empty miles. Not only that, NLDS has himself built their application called Track Your Transport. Please visit those websites also to view which all APIs are relevant, and a lot of ideas could be generated from that. To take it forward, team, is it possible if you can browse through the resource section and maybe show them where is this file located? It will be helpful because a couple of users have raised a question on offline mode as well.
Sure, we'll do that. Yeah, do you want me to flash that now, or we can do it?
It will be good if you can do it right now so that I can guide them through that file as well on a screen sharing mode.
Give me a minute.
So, and please help us understand and navigate the process to reach that file also. So that everyone can find out where is it stored in such a case. So primarily the file which we are going to showcase right now will constitute all the relevant APIs which are available with ULIP as of now. Please revisit the input parameters, output parameters, drop in your queries if in case if you may have, and that will be helpful.
We're just pulling that up on the screen. Just give me a second.
Yeah, that will be helpful. Thanks. So how do they navigate to that data field file after login is something which will be really helpful. So maybe after you log in on the dashboard section, there will be a resource section. Maybe can you please zoom a bit?
Yep. So we're just going there. Over and here. I'll just zoom it a bit. Okay. Yeah. I think that's visible.
Yeah, thanks.
So this is the dashboard actually, and if you can just go to the resource section, yeah, here it is. One.
So these are basically the technical integration document. Can we go to the data fields file, please? So
Yes.
for the users, they can review each one of these files for the integration purpose. So this is the file again. Can you please like help the team understand the process or the route to reach to this file? Where is it stored?
So it's so if you register yourself for the hackathon on the participation dashboard, there's this tab called submissions. So if you open up the idea submission, which is the current module, so you'll be able to download this file from here, and you can also navigate through the same from this resource section. So if you click on that button resource, it will redirect you to this. You can find all the APIs there.
Thanks. So these are basically the individual API integration documents, and the other one constitutes of all the fields which are there. So these are for the individual APIs. So once your idea is accepted, probably you would be requiring this basis the API you have shortlisted for your use case. So can we go to that other file, please? The one which we had opened a while ago. Yeah, this one. So here you would be able to view each of the APIs have been mentioned here with an input parameter and output parameter. So can you please do a control F and do a Vahan or a Sarthi for me? It will be a single H. Yeah. So these are few of our top hitting APIs, wherein by entering the vehicle number, they can get all the data around vehicle details, when was it registered, who's the owner, what is the status when it comes to the PUC and all. So these are few of the APIs which are being utilized. So we are already at number 72. If we go till the end, we'll have sustainability. We have the APIs for our operational efficiency, where the Sarthi other one could be utilized. Then we have few for the unified documentation as well. Is it possible if we can quickly browse through the last page so that we can quickly have a high level glimpse. So maybe you can cancel this search and then keep scrolling down. On the same document, remove the Vahan.
Just doing it.
Not able to see your screen. I mean, I'm able to see, but there's a blank document.
Wait.
Okay, let me just reshare that. Okay, it's just loading up.
Yeah. So I mean, you can cancel the search part first and then do it slowly.
I'm just pulling that up again. Just give me a
Yeah.
minute. Yeah. But meanwhile, I'm just pulling that up. Requesting participants if you have any questions for us. So we both have Mohan and Ishu here. So we'll be more than happy to address your queries.
By the time it pull up, we can have few questions which are already in the queue.
Yes, definitely. We can pick up a few questions. Meanwhile, I'm just pulling that up. Just allow me a few seconds. Okay, I can see a lot of questions already there posted by a lot of people on the screen itself. But definitely, I'll just pick up a few questions from here right away. Just give me a minute. I'm just screening those through. So, Ishu, if you're there with us, you can join us on the stage. Hi, Ishu, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Wonderful. So, just picking up a few questions in case you want to address those.
Sure.
Right. So, I can see a quick question. So this might be somewhat for Mohan to address. So, what are some of the so how can ULIP's API be used to improvise inventory management and reduce cost? Mohan, if you can throw some light there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure. So maybe inventory is very niche to an internal warehouse or primarily an operations happening within a fulfillment center. So here, if somebody wishes to utilize ULIP APIs, that has to be done in conjunction with few other APIs as well. So our ULIP specific APIs such as eWay Bill can help you understand for one of the movement from a warehouse A to B, what was the OD pair, which location, which commodity. So if we can build a pool of those commodities, and if this is a pseudo warehouse which we have built, maybe 5 6 specific commodities for which we can have that timestamps for in and out through eWay bill, and the FASTag data can be utilized to take it forward. From the reduced cost per se, probably we can calculate by having a reduction in the time which is spent at the warehouse in case we are moving to a just-in-time inventory sort of stuff, and then what sort of cost saving in terms of logistics, storage, and maintenance we have been able to find out. So the delta can be calculated, and that can translate into a reduction in cost. So the API here would be eWay bill and FASTag in case we are looking for a transit as well.
Sure. Thank you so much to address that questions. I believe participant has actually got the answer to it. So another question I was just screening through these questions. I'll just pull that up for you. Is on the screen. So what are the barriers to technology adoption in logistics industry? I believe if Ishu can pick up this one for us.
So, like technology adoption is something one of the major aspect which is being taken care, and the problem is like the generations, the older generation which is there into the industry, they don't want to adopt it, and they don't want to learn typically. So, change of process, one of the important aspect. Another is like even the new age or new generation which is coming into the business when they wants to implement something and change at a root level, it is causing a lot of issues, and even the cost incur is happening, which is not accepted by the older generations. This is what I'm talking about from the perspective of retail truck owners, which is having less than 20 trucks within their umbrella. And another aspect is like when we talk about logistics as a whole, the driver is not the decision maker into the trucking segment. The decisions are majorly taken by the truck owners, and while onto the go, drivers are utilizing social media and other aspects, but for getting the anything or solving the problems, they are not willing to utilize the application or have that into their phones, because they have somewhere into the back into the mind, like someone is, they are being tracked by the owner, or like they do a lot of gray things as well. So that is one of the barrier from the driver aspect.
Great. Thank you so much, Ishu, for throwing lights on that particular question. I believe Simranjit will definitely get insights on that. Coming up to new questions, I have one for Mohan again. Just flashing that on the screen. Can ULIP APIs be used to track shipments in real time and provide visibility to customers? Mohan, if you would like to pick that up.
We ideally call it near real time, wherein we if we know the route, let's say from A to B, there's a route which may take n number of hours. So during this route, if it's by road, we can plan the movement, which all toll plazas will be there. Through those toll plazas, the FASTag data can be utilized. In case if it's an air cargo, definitely we have the air cargo tracking APIs as well. In case if it is moving by a rail, we have freight operating information system through Ministry of Railways. Apart from that, in case it's a multimodal tracking wherein somebody needs to track the documents as well. So in such a way, a bill of entry in case of an import or a shipping bill in case of an export, the IceGate APIs can be utilized to do a documentation tracking as well. So I would say near real-time tracking for the transportation, voice, Ministry of Civil Aviation, which has three APIs: ACME, CCCS, and iClass. And for the FASTag, we have the Toll Plaza one. And for the documentation, we have IceGate APIs. So in totality, there'll be around half a dozen APIs which can be implemented to do multimodal tracking along with documentation tracking for a near real-time tracking.
Sure, thank you so much for addressing that. I have a follow-up question on this, if just for you, Mohan. So, participants have asked, is there a comprehensive documentation available for ULIP's APIs somewhere? So, like, we were just trying to pull that up, so we can do that as well. But if you
Yeah,
want to specifically talk
I
about more.
think Mehak, we did navigate through a channel to show it in the resource section. In the resource section, there will be a file, and maybe help me understand the nomenclature of that file so that everybody can refer.
Okay, I also have it handy with me. I'll just pull that up for everyone's reference one more time and we can walk them through. Do you want me to do that? Should we?
Yeah, please. I think that is required because the document would be the mecca of all the APIs which are available, and I think you would always want to revisit that document to understand how your prototype is shaping up.
Sure. Just give me a minute. So meanwhile, I'm just pulling that up. I can have a quick question, maybe. So just give me a minute. We'll have one more question to issue, and I'll just pull that up again. So I have a quick question for issue to address is what are some of the key initiatives being taken to promote sustainability in logistics? If you can throw some light there, issue.
So basically, like one of the important problem that we are facing as a logistics aspects is like the shortage of the drivers, and typically for skilling of drivers mindset that is being taken care, because next generation is not at all willing in coming up into the logistics and driving the scenario. And if the drivers are short within the industry, then we will not be able to make the keep the trucks running typically. Apart from that, when we talk about in terms of the tech which is being utilized for the aspects of getting the things done, lot of things like what we see earlier is like manual driven, all those automation and other aspects being integrated within the logistics itself. And when we talk about in terms of e-governance, or let's say we talk about clean mobility, so that is something which is being taken care in terms of last mile deliveries. You might have seen, or we all take a lot of couriers and other stuff, and everyone whosoever is coming, all these are replaced by the EVs itself. Either they are coming by vans or minivans which are coming, everything is EV. So all those aspects are shaping up the next level of sustainability.
Thank you for addressing that. So I have got a follow-up question to you on this is, and a separate one altogether is, what are the challenges and risks associated with transformation altogether in logistics?
So logistics is very interesting aspect, and challenges when we talk about it is very amazing, as well as a lot of fills with lot of risk and other also. So I remember when we started Truxovida back in 2014, and when we started bringing the transparency into the freight-based system, like we were opening up the freight. So we started getting the thread calls within 1.5 months of starting the platform itself. So that is one of the important thing that needs to be noticed by the people. But like if we are doing something for the good, definitely like everyone is with you. And which happens like it's been more than 10 years that we are running the platform. Another aspect is like, do if you are building something for the industry, build for the industry, not with the aspect of, or with the thought process of eating someone else bread by just making your home rich. So typically that is what I believe, and which is happening into the logistics industry. Like we see a lot of startups who comes up and try to build something, try to take up the share of the transporters and brokers from the market, and they were like strongly opposed by the within the industry. So this is something that needs to be taken care while building something.
For sure. Thank you so much. And it's wonderful to hear so much of insights from both of you, right? So thank you for addressing that question as well. I hope the participants are getting just out of the questions and getting those questions answered by the experts available with us today here. But also, I have that Mohan handy with me. If I'll just pull that up on my screen. Are you able to see my screen? Okay, allow me to just reshare. So meanwhile, we are at the urge of closing this up for the call itself. This problem statement explainer session issue, Mohan, if you want to, add any insights, give any feedbacks to the participants overall for this hackathon, right? Oh, the stage is open. Meanwhile, I'm just setting up the file for us. Mohan issue, if any one of you would love to pick it up.
So like I would like to throw some lights. Like there are a lot of APIs which are being made open by ULIP to build a lot of other stuff. So all the participants, whatever you are building up, just please try to think from the direction of transporter, truck driver, and like small fleet owner aspects, rather than doing something which is keeping a lot of eye on them. And the thing is like they are onto the roads every time they are away from their homes and all. And if technology can do something good for them, good in terms of bringing down SLAs, bringing out the TETs. I share one of the major problem that a lot of the even truck drivers faces while they are onto the roads, which we saved again by using the ULIP API. So what happens when truck is driving, and if it is delayed, then lot of people, lot of transporter, even brokers as well as the industry people, they keep on calling the truck driver again and again. Where is my truck? Have you reached? This was the SLA. Why you have late? So multiple calls. So the people, the problem is when they are driving the road, definitely they are not using the Bluetooths and others, and even the trucks are not equipped with that, and they are not using the headphones for calling purposes also. So it creates a lot of hindrance into the driver's scenario. So for that particular thing, if you can build something where the calls are not bothering the truck driver while driving, that is one of the important thing. This is something we internally within our system solved with the help of ULIP APIs. Apart from that, similarly, one of the, if we come onto the counter side of the truck driver, so as soon as the truck driver is reaching the destination, they keeps on buzzing the industry people for the payment as well, even if they have certain SLAs for the payment. So if those things can be built up on top of finance things, that can be thing. Like, you just need to focus on the real time problems whatever they are facing, then the solution is a big hit for the industry.
Thank you so much for those, insights there as well. And I believe that is truly inspiring, and that is truly motivating the participants to solve the real problems out there, right? And thank you for throwing up light earlier as well on the problems that we really are facing in the logistics sector. Mohan, for you, I have that handy. If you want to, just walk everybody through.
Yeah, and to add on, guys, I mean, you all should revisit this file as many times as possible. I mean, there are close to 2,000 data fields over here. Each data field can help you develop an innovative use case, which can solve even a complex industry problem as well. So again, after login on the dashboard resource section, please look out for this field. This field will have all the APIs listed here. So DGFT is there. The voice is for the Ministry of Railways, which we discussed a while ago. All of them can be referred for building a use case around, let's say, transit time, or let's say if somebody wishes to have a tech driven logistics wherein they wishes to know what will be multimodal tracking, sustainability, the carbon emissions. Last week we have gone live with carbon emissions API as well. So that has been built by one of the Prime Research Institute of India. So we can use that, and it is there under the idea submission PDF file. Please refer to that. In case if somebody is not able to locate the file, you may drop in a query at the central help desk. This file should be your go through for increasing the chances of using as many APIs as yes, and for developing idea submission in such a way that their applicability can be taken care as well. So please refer to this file. The top hitting APIs around air cargo tracking, voice, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways are some which are your go-to APIs, and then those can be referred as well. Yeah.
Okay. So that you'll find this. So anybody who's already registered, you'll find it on your participation dashboard under the resource section. This file. Please walk this through before you make a submission. And during the submission itself, let me just pull up my screen. Okay, so before 25th of October itself, please make sure that you submit your ideas, and make sure you do mention what are the potential APIs that you are going to use in the next phase, which is the prototype phase of the hackathon. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Mohan and Ishu, for joining us today on this call for the problem statements. And your insights have been wonderful. And I truly believe that the participants have got a lot of information to help, they're forming their ideas and putting things across. So thank you so much, Ishu and Mohan.
Thank you.
Thank Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mohan.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. But make sure people who have not registered so far, if you're watching us, do register yourself. And those who have already done it, make sure you make a submission before 25th of October. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you on the other side. Thank you.